Hi, it's Gadget UK here again. This time we're going to salvage some parts from this. Hopefully it's not going to be a long drawn out video. And yeah, I'll just focus on anything of interest. Certainly when we get to the main board, is there going to be anything on there that we can salvage? You can see it's very dirty, it's very dusty, and it's very beat up, this printer. It's the same printer that featured on the channel about, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago. You can see this is smashed off here. Yeah, one day one of the cats launched itself off that. You know, it used to sit like that, and one of the cats sort of used its back feet on here and sprung off it, and it snapped with their force of their weight. So yeah, it's been like that for about 5 years, I think. When it last featured on my channel, let's just move that cable out of the way. It's a new cable actually from the new printer, which is shorter, so I'm using the old cable with the new printer. The print head that's not coming out, obviously because it's not plugged in, is faulty again, and I made the mistake of cleaning it with IPA. It was just printing, like, you know, lines and blurry smudges and stuff, so I thought I'll clean it with some IPA. That's exactly what happened when I cleaned the last print head. So there's something on these print heads, we'll take it out in a minute, but there's something on them that when you get IPA on them, it makes them never work again. Yeah, so you've been warned. If you ever want to clean a print head on a printer, use some hot soapy water and dry it off. Don't get IPA anywhere near it. I suspect it's the flex ribbons you'll see. There's a flex ribbon that sits on there. Maybe it's kind of glued or something with some conductive glue or something like that, and I think the IPA just dissolves it. I think that's what it is. So it was just cleaning here with IPA. Suddenly it's not a valid print head. Yeah, and it just comes up saying, you know, incorrect print head is fitted, which is interesting, isn't it? So yeah, you've been warned, don't use IPA on these. Right, so I've literally got a bin bag nearby to hand, and I'm going to proceed to take this to pieces. I can't remember how you get in this near. There's so many broken parts as well, you know, the front here is all missing off it, this doesn't close. It's going to be a bit of an autopsy of the rear sheet, the front sheet feeder, because that doesn't work. It makes a crunchy grinding noise and has done for several years. Looks like the power supply module is removable here. It's got to be a security Torx or something, is it? What's that? That's just a plastic notch. What's this here? That looks like it's just a clip thing. Does it pull out? I don't know. Oh, there's a screw on the back there. Yeah, so I might be able to get 1 or 2 components from this. I'm thinking maybe a flash ROM. God, look at the dust on the back here. I'm going to have to vacuum this down as I work on it, I think. But I've got a bin bag near here. I'm going to put all of the parts in for recycling that I don't want. Right, having removed that one screw, does this come out maybe? I don't know which way you pull that. It kind of looks like it's clipped, doesn't it? I don't know. I'll report back. Anyway, I'm going to hoover this down because, well, it's a wee bit alive. Yeah, first lesson learned whilst working on an inkjet printer. Bear in mind the purge unit inside it, and this is what the issue with this is probably going to be absolutely overloaded if it's a really old system, and this is. So yeah, ink everywhere here, look. Oh my god. Someone did say to me, make sure you wear rubber gloves. Well, they weren't wrong. That black mark may now be a permanent feature on my channel. You may always see that on that mat, and obviously I need to be careful this doesn't get on the floor, on my clothes, on my hands as well. It's a bit late for that, isn't it? Oh my goodness. I'm just going to focus on getting these. Hang on, I can get a leverage on it. I'm going to focus on getting these screws out. We'll try and clean that with some IPA afterwards. I'm hoping it comes up. It's one of these things where I'm starting to regret going in this. I should just go put it in the bin and reclaim all these screws. Always useful to fix various things. The funny thing is with these screws, I can see straight away, these are the kind of screws you get on the back of a 1084S, actually. Monitor. Exactly the same thread, so I don't know, some of these bits may clip off. And to be honest, because we're not going to salvage any of these plastic parts, I'm just going to be smashing various parts off like this. I don't care if it breaks, I don't care if the clips break. We just want to fairly quickly get inside it. Yeah, so parts like that there, I'll salvage that spring. The rest of this plastic here, I think will just go in for recycling. It's probably easiest just to smash this out like that, and then I can get that spring out. It's probably going to ping across the room now, isn't it? There we go, spring out. Yeah, and if memory serves, these things are clipped on, but I'm just like forcing this here. I don't care about the clips. And it should eventually just sort of fries up. Like that. Yeah, so I'll try and salvage some of these gears here. Probably never going to use them. It's one of the things when you do try and salvage parts from things. Yeah, you'll use like 0.1% of the parts you ever take off it. The screws are the most likely thing to get reused. 2 screws holding that on. It's just an optical sensor, isn't it, that sees the little black stripes as this rotates around. A bit like how mice work to a degree. So hopefully, yeah, there you go, that comes off. Obviously it's still attached somewhere inside. I need to try and work out how to free that up. I could save that belt as well. Yeah, so there's nothing graceful about the way I'm taking this to pieces. It breaks really easy, this plastic. You know, I was just able to snap pieces off here, undo the screws for this PCB. I'll show you, there's a bit here, look. Yeah. So yeah, I could obviously, if I wanted to repair this, invest time, take it to pieces carefully. And I've plugged paper towel all around where I think the ink's coming from. But if I just keep careful here, look, you can see I'm able to sort of just detach and snap at the same time in various places. You have to be careful or you could hurt yourself. Just see if I can get that front piece over there. It's annoying this part's so wide because obviously it's quite hard to snap it. But it is breaking in a few places. Let's try and do that. There you go. You can see got a spring just pinged off, so I'll save that. That's it. All this is going in for recycling because I'm sure it's all recyclable plastic. But now this board is free here. So there's just a screw, you can't see it down here. You can disconnect these remaining JSTs as well. There might be nothing on this board I can use, but then again, it might have one flash ROM or something, I don't know. Probably salvage the motors and the odd gear and the odd sensor. Obviously got a lot of connections there that run all the way down here, but they're flat flex, so if I disconnect these remaining flat flexes, I'll salvage these flat flex ribbons as well, if I can get them out without damaging them. That one's soldered on, that grey one. Goes to a sensor down here, so I think I just need to break this back without hopefully hurting myself like that. Let's go right over here. It's amazing how easy that plastic is to break. Hence how it's got broke a few times in the past by the cats and stuff. So unscrew that sensor there. Yeah, not sure here because now there's this weird routing of wires here, and this one goes somewhere down there to another thing. I think we'll just disconnect all these if we can try and free them up. Like that. I mean, it's amazing how these things are assembled, isn't it, when you look at the complexity of them. And the ridiculousness is a new head was going to be 30 quid. We bought a new printer for 50. Yeah, and alright, they're less efficient than they used to be. But this printer's just, you know, so past it really. It's almost 20 years old, I would say. I think we got this back in 2007. I can't do the maths, but it's old, 15 years at least. And it's so unreliable now in terms of, well, it needs another new print head, and one of the sheet feeders doesn't work, the front one. I suggest, hey, there we go, freed a lot up, that's good. We freed the flat flexes up, which go to the head, I think, here actually, those. That's the thing, don't be afraid of cutting certain things, just 3 wires here, so just trim them. We don't need them. There we go, and that's now free. That's like you're getting a mouse, yeah, IR. Optical transmitter receiver pairs there. And again, I can just cut it straight off the board, because you know what, we don't need it to be on the board, do we? There we go. That might fix a mouse at some point. honestly don't know. And then this board, I think, should come off now. Still the odd JST. It's incredible how many things are connected inside these. I thought that would have been completely free. Got a BGA looking chip there, the heart of the thing. So there might be nothing on this PCB we can salvage, other than maybe a USB port and a few JST connectors. I think that might be a flash ROM though, that's what I'm hoping. And yeah, I'm just looking at that suspension chip, I think. Yeah, expansion something. It looks like GL064A90TF. Yeah, so not much we could reuse on that, other than some of these little connectors, I think. I'll probably just desolder those connectors, take off the crystal, couple of crystals there. We'll remove that expansion. That's not going to be useful for anything. Chances are those are going to be pretty bespoke to this, I would suspect. It's amazing how resilient this printer has been, though. I've got to give it credit where credit is due. It's been a resilient thing. And of course, you know, all these SMD components here, might be able to reuse some of those to fix something. But, well, it means keeping this somewhere. I might do that. I might remove all the big things off it and then just stick it in a drawer. But we do have some gears and motors and things, you know, we might be able to at some point get that out. Yeah, it's getting harder to disassemble as we proceed here. And we still have ink oozing out of this, look. I suspect the whole underside of the plastic tray here is like filled with like an inch of ink. It makes me amazed that this hasn't leaked on the floor in the past, to be honest. It must have been getting pretty full in there, overflowing. And the way I tend to work when I'm trying to salvage things like this is be really opportunistic. Like, I see a spring there, let's get that spring off before we even took it pieces further. It's hooked on up there. Hang on, if I can just unhook it. Yeah, I may as well, you know, get off what you can get off while you can get it off, if that makes sense, rather than spend forever trying to take it further and further and further to pieces, is the point. The more you take off it, the easier it'll be to take to pieces. Of course, I am getting stuck here now with this stupid spring. I'm going to spend the next half hour messing with this one spring on. There we go. It's off on the bottom. That's really, really useful for C64 and other cassette decks. Oh, I can't get under it. There we go. Yeah, I'm going to lose it. There we go. Yeah, that's the kind of spring that is useful for so many things moving forward. You used to be able to get spring kits with those kind of springs in, but, well, I've not really seen them in years. They're harder to get now. Yeah, so there is a sensor sort of somewhere under that side, because this blue wire seems to, well, route that way. We'll deal with that later if we get to that side. Yeah, but trying to move you over as far as I can there. I don't want to rotate this too much because this corner down here is leaking, isn't it? And it's going to go on the floor. It just means now, though, I can get to, hang on, if I can hold the printer, get to, hang on, get another screwdriver. Yeah, they're those Japanese positive head screws, I think, which mean my Phillips screwdriver ain't cut in it. Right, rotate it round just so I can get onto that and get some pressure at the same time. That's coming out now. I'm not sure what this is here. It's like a card reader or something, maybe a compact flash or something, I don't know. I bet that's what it is. I bet that was a compact flash slot for camera compact flash cards. Because that's what they all used to use, isn't it, before we moved on to SD. It's got an SD slot in it as well, I think. So it might be just like a multi-slot there. Get rid of those screws. There might be the odd one we can't reach until we smash more of the plastic off here, I don't know. There's our first flat flex we can salvage if I can detach it. Yay, useful for something. Because of course you can cut something like this down. You might need a flat flex that long with that pitch, but you might only need several of the connections here. Well, you can just cut it very carefully. But to be honest, it's probably not long enough and probably not got the right number of connections for anything I would need it for. I figure we're speeding up the recycling process here though, aren't we, to a degree. Right, how does this come out now? Has we still got a screw somewhere? You know, I can't see like this bottom corner here, what's in this bottom corner. I could try and prise that off like that. There we go. Don't really know what's holding that on the front. Oh, there we go. It's this plastic up here, isn't it? It's this. And again, it doesn't matter so much if we damage the board slightly, does it? We just want to get the flipping thing out. That's it. Got another soldered on wire, set of wires there at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm just going to hack through that. Just go into some switch or something. There we go. That's that out. So again, what can we reuse on that? Well, yeah, probably not a lot. Probably nothing. Yeah, I don't know what that IC there is. And there's our slot. Yeah, I think it's SD, isn't it? It's an SD slot. It's huge for SD. Maybe it accepts something else as well. I don't know. That is just an SD slot. Looking at it, there's so many connections on it there. Oh, it's because we've got compact flash on the underside there. Look. Oh, well, that's useful. It's hot. It's surface mounted, but assuming, yeah, I might be able to take that off and actually use that on one of those little adapters to have a second one on the same side. Because some of the compact flash adapters have got positions for one of these on each side, but yeah, I don't know. And the USB port there. Interesting alignment of that. Right, so I freed up a lot of stuff on the left side there, and lots of screws and things as well. We need to get a bit snappy on this side now, so the power supply's on this side, isn't it? And when I say snappy, I mean in a careful way where I don't injure myself. So many parts that are solid on the front here, I don't know. I mean, if in doubt, you can cut into things, so like, try snap bits off like that. Just make gradual progress. Closing my eyes when I do this, just in case something pings off at me. Like I'm doing it blindly. There we go. We'll get in there. Take that off. Got another spring inside that. Deal with that in a second. Yeah, and as I've lifted this piece here, look at all the solid ink under there. That is crazy. I think it's solid. Yeah, it's kind of gone solid, but still a bit viscous there. So got to wipe that, but it's going to go straight into the recycling bag there. Oh my goodness, there's loads of it there. So you know, this is the thing. This has been filling up in here for, well, quite some time. I'm amazed that didn't come out the actual case onto my floor. Right, I'm going to go get rid of all these and just get some new paper towel down, I think. Yeah, so I've freed up all the stuff around here now as well. It does look like this power supply thing is like modular, and it looks like it kind of pulls out from the underneath, doesn't it? I'm just not sure how. I'm sure I pulled this out when I went in it last time, but like right now, I just can't work it out. It's like a clip on either side, maybe. Doesn't matter if we don't damage it, does it? Or if we do damage it, rather. Yeah, I can get that out at the end, maybe. Yeah, and it's just struck me. I can carefully just pull this through this, get this tape off here, and free that up. I've got a nice big spring there to get off as well. There's something therapeutic about destroying something that's giving you so much grief over your life. And it has. This printer has just stressed us out so many times. There's a strand of it there, so you can break through it. There we go. Pull that out now. That's off. Yeah, and there's a motor down here. There are a couple of screws here as well. I'm going to see if I can unscrew those. It's quite difficult to get leverage. And again, it's about having the right screwdriver. I knocked my soldering off once already. It went flying. Luckily it wasn't on. Yeah, there's a piece of metal coming off with that. Oh, yeah, I see where the screw went. I'll take advantage of where we are at the moment and try and unclip this if I can. It's going to need something a bit more strength on it, I think, like going on. I might be able to pull it over that clip there. I don't know, I'm a bit restricted here because of the power supply. I could just cut the plastic standoff that's on it. That might be an idea, like this. Hang on, I can't get onto that now. There we go, it flew off. And there it is. Yeah, so now kind of feels like a good time to try and free up these ribbons here. They go all the way across. I'm going to be careful not try and damage these, pulling them out. And again, we aren't bothered about the plastic, are we? So you know what, I'm just going to trim off that clip. Or bend it out of the way, one of the two. Like that, that's it. Just so that I can start to try and get it out. Like that. It's got the ferrous thing around it there just to help filter. Well, you've got to crease it slightly to do that. Makes you wonder how on earth they assembled these things, really. I mean, you could pull it out, couldn't you? If I pull that all the way off and straighten these out somewhat. Yeah, these things would just feed through like that, and then you don't need to crease them. And it's got a bit of crease in there, look. And then they're folded, and then they're taped down. Yeah, here again. Really sturdy stuff, that's it. And get the tape off it. And then we can feed these and just pull it through here, I think, just to hopefully make our lives a bit easier. That's it. I'm amazed this ever works, you know, there's that much dust on all these optical sensors, and there are loads of them. You know, there's a ribbon that goes all the way across. I've detached it now. I'll show you it. Alright, I've got it here. Just carefully. Show you this. It's got, you know, a black pattern on it that breaks the beam as the head moves across, so it knows exactly, you know, that it's moving and how far it is. And here, like, there's a little optical thing, and it's just, all this here is just covered, absolutely covered in dust. I'd be amazed if that's working properly. Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm absolutely covered in ink. I am not enjoying this whatsoever. Oh God, what was I thinking? I should have just took it to the tip. Anyway, I've reclaimed hundreds of screws of varying sizes. Lots of those ones that would fit a 1084S or other Commodore monitors. It's the same exact screw. So that's another motor free if we can untangle its wires. Yeah, the one here is kind of looped around, I think. There we go. That's it. Hang on. Oh, get out of the way. Again, am I ever going to use those motors? Probably never. And that's the thing. I do question what the hell I'm doing. What the hell I'm doing here. I don't know. There are some springs on it that are useful, that I will use on things. And one or two of the screws. So, what I do find interesting about this, a number of things. How complicated it is. How much dust and fluff there is in there. But also, you know, the number of parts. There's like millions of parts to a printer like this. You know, and it's like really intricate mechanical mechanism and stuff. And it's been so reliable for such a long period of time. Canon printers are really, really good. And I used to service quite a lot of Canon back in the day, the inkjets and bubble jets and dot matrix printers, laser printers as well, actually. There's a piece of sponge here that goes to the whole bottom thing here, can you see? Sponge. This is designed to absorb all that excess ink, which is why it's so large. So they probably had plans from the start when they designed this that, yeah, ink is going to leak out somewhere here. I think there's a tank back here, isn't there, for collecting it? I forget what it's called now. But the purge unit ultimately is responsible for this, you know, is it? And this is the thing about waste on this type of printer, that when you've not printed for a while, first thing it does is it purges the heads, you know, you hear the as the pump is engaged, sucking ink through the head. And it goes somewhere, yeah, in a part that's not designed to be replaced by the consumer. And this is one thing that I don't like about this, is there should be a detachable module that you can replace every 2, 3, 4 years that catches all this, instead of it all building up and building up and building up. I'm really relieved we've replaced this, because if I'd continued to use this for another 2 years, I mean, it's already at the level of the plastic edging here. It started leaking out onto my laminate flooring, and well, good luck trying to get that out your laminate flooring when it seeks into the, you know, the gap between where you've got, you know, exposed wood. It would be absorbed into the flooring. So yeah, it's a really good job we got to this point. But I mean, you can't see it. Look at this here. This is cat fur. Hang on. I'm going to try and grab it with the cutters. This is cat fur that's obviously got coloured black. I mean, it could be from Rosa because she was black, but yeah, it's just decrepit. So in terms of the base itself, that's almost ready to go in the bin. Just need to get the power supply out of it. This bit here, and I'm going to try and disassemble this further, but we've got, well, a tube here with ink that was leaking out of it everywhere. So yeah, there's an odd screw that I can't really get to until I disassemble a little bit further. I'm just interested now in reclaiming the remaining screws, and I think there might be one motor. I think it's over here somewhere because we've got some wires here still. Maybe the odd sensor, and maybe the odd gear. But as I just disassemble this further, most of this is going to go in the bin. I can see another spring there, look. Let's just unclip that. There we go. That's another one. Just when you think you can't get messier, it's getting messier. I found a couple of receipts in here as well, wedged in the mechanism. Like petrol receipts from 10 years ago or longer. That might explain why the rear sheet feeder wasn't working, because I haven't found any broken gears yet. But one of them was wedged around that one of the gears and somewhere near the purge bit. Right, I'm getting to the end here now. I've took everything off that I want, every screw, every spring, every gear that I'm interested in. And yeah, the rest of that's going to go in the bin. I mean, there's probably some useful parts on it, to be honest. I think I can see 2 springs there, actually. Let me just see if I can free those up. And of course, all my tools need cleaning, everything needs cleaning. My hands are black. It's like, it's one of these things. Am I going to do this to the next printer? No, I'm not. Once is enough of a traumatic experience for me. Yeah, I just broke those plastic bits off there just to free the springs up. Yeah, so that's going to go now straight in with the recycle stuff. I'm going to go and empty it in the recycle bin. Alright, we are there. It's taken me about 2.5 hours to do that. That was a complete waste of time, but you know what, we got a load of different gears, screws, sensors, flat flexors, etc. I think the only thing we've got to get out is the power supply. Still haven't worked out how to get that out, but now it's like this. Well, I'll try and do that. I may do that outside actually, so that I don't get ink everywhere here, because if I try and turn this upside down, well, ink's going to go everywhere. I'm just going to have a quick hoover on the top of this now, just try and collect this dust so it doesn't go everywhere. Have one last attempt to try and get this out. Just check around, see if I see any of the screws. I don't think so. And then this can go out for recycling as well, and then we can just clean up and work through cleaning up all the bits that I've took off it. You know what is interesting? That spongy material, there's a piece of it here. What were they expecting to leak over this side? I don't know. And a lot of these things, you just, you know, it's sort of just clipped together. But I tell you what, I am just amazed at how complicated and intricate the design is here. This must have been all machine assembled, because, well, I can't imagine how on earth people would have done it. It's like loads of chicken and egg stuff. I'm going to take those out. Yeah, there's loads of chicken and egg stuff where you're like, I can't get to that screw until I undo that screw. I mean, like a lot of them. There are parts there that there's no way, if it wasn't assembled by machine, there's no way you'd be able to get to it. So, I mean, good luck trying to fix a mechanical issue on one of these. It's not like it used to be in the olden days where a gear broke and 10 minutes later you'd be in there, be able to replace the gear. This you'd have to strip down like a ridiculous level to do the smallest type of repair. So it's a good job none of those nylon gears appear to have broken over the years. They must have been really worried about these printers leaking, because I showed you all that sponge stuff on the left side. It goes a whole left side of the chassis here, and it's all along the back as well. I mean, obviously it has leaked here, look at this. So, I don't know, I guess someone did the math and worked out that when it starts to become a problem, it leaks and starts to fill up and stuff, that this stuff might accommodate, I don't know, 15 years worth of ink or something like that. Maybe 5-10 years worth of ink. Someone's done the maths, and oh my god, I've got it all over here now. Yeah, all my tools are just covered in this ink. I wish to goodness I'd listened to the advice of whoever it was. I'll put your name top left, whoever said, make sure you wear rubber gloves, Gadget. Because I did it, and I just got covered in ink. And I thought to myself, I'll be alright, I'll be really careful, I'll be fine. I'm like, you know, know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. I won't get ink everywhere. I'm even going to need to clean the camcorder switches, you know, the buttons for starting to record, because, well, I think that's covered in ink. This releases that clip there. I don't know how this side comes in. Is there a clip here? Oh, yeah, there is. There we go. There's the power supply module. So, thank God for that. I can now go and whiz this. Oh, that ink thing's coming out everywhere here. And to be fair, what I'll probably do is very carefully pull some of these inky bits out, stick those in the landfill waste, and the other bits into recycling. Anyway, I'll report back. I need to go and wash my hands yet again. So I still got the top part with the scanner to do. I'm going to do that later. Right now I'm just going to try and experiment, get some IPA on here and just see what happens. Like, does any of this come off with IPA after washing with soap and water? Yeah, a little bit. So you can argue after you've washed with soap and water, maybe use a bit of IPA. My fingers are stinging though. Yeah, so IPA got most of the ink off the bench there, the mat. I need to do my tools in a sec. So right now though, I want to see if I can free up these flex things from in here. I bet there's like a couple of £100 in just parts on this. Yeah, I'm in bull in the China shop mode here. There we go, just trying to get to it. Oh my God, there's a capacitor in there and a PCB for this little thing. That's incredible. Let's free that wire. White one. There we go. Should hopefully mean that this now pulls out. A good opportunity to inspect those connections now. They're completely out. Let's see, are any of them actually bent? I mean, I may have bent them just getting the thing to pieces, but... And am I ever going to use these flex ribbons? Probably not. I don't think I'm ever going to use anything I've stuck off this apart from screws. So, yeah, they just pull out, don't they? So, one, and one. Oh, that one's got an actual flap. That's the first flap I've seen on these. On this printer. First one. Yeah, that one just pulls out. It's interesting, isn't it? One that pulls, one that closes, and all the others just push fit. Yeah, I see no issues with those at all. They're just solid. I thought, when I was looking at it from an angle, it was like a little metal spring that springed in, but it isn't. They've probably got a spring below them. But nevertheless, yeah, that was not my issue with the print head. It was the actual print head. So, may as well just chop that off. And am I ever going to use this though? I don't think so. Oh, I could use those flat flex connectors. Oh no, they're not surface mount, they're through hole. Yeah, those might be useful. And obviously the surface mount one as well, but getting it off there without melting is pretty difficult. And a little optical or something there, sensor there. Yeah, and the PCB that holds these contacts here, I see no point in salvaging that, I don't think. You can see what I mean about how complicated it's assembled though. I mean, it's like this here, this, you know, the wires were routed through here, through that other thing. Really chicken and egg in terms of how you would assemble one of these from the factory. And here, is it just these clip things? Does it maybe slide up? I don't know. Yeah, it goes up like that. Although this side ain't moving. What's that? Hang on a minute. Oh yeah, they're just... That's weird, isn't it? So the little gold contacts are just sort of pushed through there. How the heck are those fitted? Why are they clipped in here, look? This is what I mean, there's just so many different parts to this, and it's like... Each bit is like really fiddly done. You know what, I might keep those. They might be useful for something. I mean, they are gold plated, so they must be worth a load of money, at least 5p each or something. Do you know what the downside to getting all this ink on your fingers is? When you've washed them, you can't tell if they're clean. It's like, I have washed them, my fingers, they're spotless. There's no black ink coming off on this now. So, I don't know, it looks like that's how I've got to film on my channel for the next 3 months or something until it disappears. I don't know, hopefully it'll be gone in a week. Hopefully it'll be gone in a few days. Anyway, that's it. I now need to clean all my tools up, and decontaminate all of the parts here that we've took off it. I'm lucky those ink cartridges haven't leaked there that we took out as well. Anyway, I'll feel so much happier when all these tools are cleaned up. I mean, this thing here is full of springs and, well, knickknacks, you know, I don't know. All sorts of bits and pieces. Right, I am mostly clean now, despite the fact my hands don't look clean. All the tools are clean, the table's clean. So, there shouldn't be any ink on this, it's the scanner part. So I'm just going to get the screws out here. We'll try and reclaim what we can out of this as well. I'm guessing maybe tube. But there may be other things in here. There might be a high voltage component for the tube. There might be maybe the logic for the tube actually. There could be like a separate scanner board in here. That'd be interesting to see. Quite a lot of screws under here, so I'm hoping this is less clippy and more screwy. See, it's things like this that get me in terms of the chicken and egg thing. Look at the size of this spring, right? When you pull it down like that, the spring is actually bigger than the gap in the plastic, yeah? So like it can't have been put through there unless this plastic was bent. I don't know. There's loads of crazy things like this where you're thinking that spring was put on by aliens or something, do you know what I mean? It's like, alright, you could put it on at an angle maybe, you know, it must have been bent and fed on an angle like that, but then, really? By a machine? The machine did that, did it? These were assembled at Area 51, I think. Look how far you've got to pull these plastic clips over the edge here. This tells me it wasn't assembled that way, but then again, it is actually coming up now, so I don't know. God, there's so much clips around this. Well, there's so many clips around this, I should say. There we go. Yeah, the cover off the button assembly here has come off. Things like that I'll save. Diffusion pipes, you can always cut them to size and use them to fix, I don't know, things like A590s or something if you've not got a diffusion thing for it. Or something else, not necessarily that a perfect fit, but anyway. Oh, what was that? Someone just fell on the floor there, I don't know what. Yeah, I'm going to try and unflat flex that, despite the fact we're just not in the right place here. I need to get under it there. I think if it breaks, it breaks. I'll pass caring. That's it. Yeah, it's alright. So yeah, we got yet another PCB here. I'll take that to bits in a minute. I can't imagine there's anything exciting on it. But we've got more screws. Yay for screws. And springs. Yay, the screen's free. So yeah, I think I've been inside this screen before. I vaguely remember going in it. Maybe I haven't. You'd think I would have attempted to glue that screen back down, but it's like I said, I just never use the screen. The screen is just an annoyance more than anything. Certainly when it's on a hinge thing like this. Yeah, so I've got more, one of these to take down here, a ferrite thing. So if we just sort of try and lift that on both sides. And then it's clippy again, isn't it? So many clips on this. Like that. Hang on. Hang on, it's really dear life, that. And there's our screen. So, I don't know, you never know, it might be a standard sort of modular display that is used in other things. Maybe in the same model as the printer I've got now, it looks like a similar size screen. I will just take this out of here, I think. I'm just looking at those buttons. I'm just thinking you could use those as replacement buttons on a Mega Drive pad or something. Some modification may be required, and obviously it's got a print symbol or something on it. I don't know, it's quite cool though. I might have a think about that. You'd be amazed at the things I keep. I have got a thing of buttons and silicons and stuff from all sorts of different devices that aren't consoles. And on occasion, things fit. You'd be amazed what fits. I think they're all tactile switches, these on the other side. There's a lot of screws holding that in. There's more screws holding those buttons on than anything else on the entire printer, to be honest. It's like they were really worried about buttons not working. And I wouldn't mind, but like, let me just show you this, right? You read the instructions, it says hold down power and press the stop button, right? Which one of those is the stop button? Yeah? I'm figuring it's that, but I'm not sure. And then why is that? What's that button? Yeah? That one's obviously the power button. Yeah, it's just cryptic, and it's the same with these. What are these 4 buttons? And then, I don't know, it's just, I never liked the interface on this, I always thought it was crap. Ah, so they're not tactile switches, they're just those Atari 2600 style things, aren't they? Never going to use anything off that apart from those, am I? Anyway, I'll take what I can off it. But this here, yeah, those could be useful. Because you can cut them out. So in other words, you could cut one of those out and it might actually fit a Mega Drive pad or something. If you wanted a scanner button instead of A, yeah, you could do. Yeah, so I'll keep those. I always keep those sort of things. I don't have to keep some crap. Is that the signs of a hoarder? It's like I keep anything ridiculous. Let's get rid of all these. Again, we'll take out the light pipe thing here. So we've got a piece of glass here. That's well and truly taped down. We've got this here, and I've knackered the flat flex for that probably. I'm not that bothered, to be honest, just like, I feel like I've got most of what I want out of this printer. So let's sort through the fruits of my labour here. Yeah, wow. Quite a lot of springs and screws. Yeah, and what I tend to do with these is these kind of like metric kind of thread, rather than, it's like, I want to say digital, that looks more digital to me. Those look analog. They've got like a wider cutting sort of thread, and I separate them into 2 categories, and then I have those in separate drawers. And then I do have a thing here for weird things like plastic fixtures, of which those are. There's a little plunger things for switches or some, or catchers. Yeah, so oddball things like that. It's like a little washer, a little metal piece that I kept, very small pieces I keep, because you can always re-engineer them so for other things. I'll probably put the light pipe pieces into that as well. Yeah, small bits like that, you'd be amazed at what you can actually use to fix, well, things that you can't possibly think of now, if you see what I mean. So, yeah, there are a few bits here, these things, I'm not even sure I'm going to keep those or not. I'll put them in the bin. So I've got a load of springs, and I need to go find my spring tray next, I think. Let's just see if there's any more bits to go in here. Yeah, right now I can't find where my spring thing's gone. So I'm going to put it in here with all these keys and up plungers and stuff. The sort of thing that, yeah, with some of them may be able to be used for the keys, but, well, most of them are a bit too thin. One or two quite large. We're getting down to the last few bits. So those, I've got a drawer for putting ferrite things in, and flat flex cables as well. So the only flat flex that got damaged was this one, and it got really twisted here, so I just cut it. But don't be under the illusion that you can't use something like that, because these are, as you can see here, metal coated. Yeah. So if you were to take a grinding pen to this, you could, obviously cut it to length. You could even cut some of these sections out here, trim it down so it's only however many connections you need, as long as the pitch is right. And yeah, you could, scratch up with a grinding pen here, very, very careful, and use that for something. So yeah, I will even keep that. Probably never get used, but you never know. Watch this space. So I've got some IPA soaking here, and I've seen it go right across the other side, just using some of these plastic spudgers here. You get, I don't know, a pack of 30 for a couple of quid. I'm just going to see if I can get under there. But you know, the IPA has mostly got it off on its own. Look where the IPA has got onto it. And it kind of peels off. Super sticky. Yeah, and it would seem WD-40 is the way to go with this. You know, just get some on the paper towel or on the glass and just put a bit of pressure on. And it starts to dissolve. Yes, I've got all the glue residue off that. It's obviously very dirty and smeary. IPA is not the best thing to clean it with, so I'm going to go get some glass cleaner and we'll give it a polish. It's nice and smooth on the edges. It's, you know, it's been what do you call it? You know, smoothed, so it's like pretty safe to handle. But if you dropped it, obviously it'd shatter and it may cause injury. So you've got to be careful with glass. But yeah, a piece of glass like that, I mean, it's always useful for something. I don't know what at this stage, but maybe a future project. And of course, if a window has a small break in it or a crack or something, you can always just bodge that over there temporarily, try and keep the outside, if you see what I mean. So you can see I even reclaimed components from the boards here. So I've got a bunch of chokes off here without any issue, and I got one of the crystals off, which I've now dropped on the floor. I pulled off all the caps, and the way I did that is instead of trying to desolder them, just heat both points at the same time, just pull the cap through, they come off dead easy. And the idea is to get everything that stands off the board out of the way, and then this can fit into one of my component drawers there as spares. Because I could, you know, if I need like an whatever it is, 0406 or something really tiny grain of salt size, resistors, caps, diodes, some ferrite beads, arrays, things like that. There's some really nice ones here, the little ferrite arrays here. The sort of things I've seen on the Thomas Waves and other things, PlayStations and PS3s even. The component size is so small on this. But anyway, I thought I'd just test some of these things actually. I've just took one of the caps off here, 470. It only took a few seconds to get it off. It's 470. 0.08. Yeah, the capacitance, hang on, a tiny bit low. Point is though, this printer has been plugged in, powered on, for over 15 years, maybe 16, 17 years. Some of these are going to be bad though. One of them does look like it's leaked. Let's try this one. This looks like 1,000 or something, is it? Yeah, this is 1,000. A bit low. Good ESR though. So this is the thing, so that some of the electrolyte has boiled off, you know, like it's not leaked out, it's just evaporated gradually over 15, 16, 17 years. Rubicon, 1,000 microfarad. So yeah, I won't keep them. I just thought it'd just be interesting to see how bad they are. This one's got a greeny sort of discoloration on the underside. This one I think's leaked, and it smells kind of sus as well. Yeah, 340.74. The SR's still good. What is it? It's a 330. There you go. So even that one with its mysterious patchy green underside still measures all right actually. Anyway, so what else will I remove? I'm just trying to desolder the solder points here. Very difficult. I think I may need to use my desolder station or a larger tip on the soldering iron. The solder's very hard to get off a board like this where it's multi-layer, and it will be. It's going to be in the 6th layer, I think, or more. I'm going to remove the expansion chip here. I think that's a RAM. Could be a flash ROM, I'm not sure which. Probably a RAM. I don't know if they do flash ROMs. And I'm still trying to get off these two JSTs. Very, very difficult to get off because it just absorbs so much heat and the solder point is so small. It's easy to solder, not very easy to desolder. So I might not be able to get those off, but I'll have another try. The power supply module is interesting to me. I might actually cover this in a separate video. I might use this for something because you've got the little JST here and it's providing a multiple voltages, probably like 5, 12, 3, maybe a higher voltage, and you just put mains in. So yeah, you could keep it inside this plastic enclosure, you could put it in a different plastic enclosure, but it's a completely modular power supply, so that's actually useful for something. And obviously the tube here, I forget what it's called now, yeah, might be useful for something, little plastic rollers and stuff on it. So yeah, those things I'll just put away. I'm probably never going to ever use them. And the PCB, as I say, I'll remove the chip and some of these connectors here. I think I'll just use hot air. I had a go briefly using the desolder station, and I couldn't get them off. This is the thing I was saying about multiple layers. Multiple layers, they're really, really hard to get through whole parts off. That'll come off easy. I'm never going to use those. They're going to be bespoke to driving motors, probably. You know, like motor control ICs, H-bridge, etc. You think along those lines. Yeah, they've got the same part number on those two chips. But some of these other components, little shunts and things there, there's diodes on the underside, transistors, tons of resistors and caps. It's totally useful to keep that in one of my trays, and it should fit. And it'll be useful to fix something moving forward. The screws, I got hundreds of screws out of it, and I got, I don't know, 50 springs, all different types of springs. The ones used in C64 and Spectrum cassette decks, you know, the little ones, just like a little loop, a spring, a little loop, just the same size. Ideal to fix some of those tape decks. So it was kind of worth doing, but do you know what? I got covered in ink, I really did. I wish I'd followed Call 286's advice to put rubber gloves on. Do check out the links down below to the main channel. We don't always do crazy, boring things like this. But anyway, I thought that might be useful to someone. Someone might find that interesting or funny. It may have passed some time. You may have laughed at the odd bit. I laughed a few points myself, just how crazy the whole thing was, really. Yeah, so hopefully you found something interesting in that video. I'll catch you in the next one.